They've announced it. Drake and PartyNextDoor have announced their album with a very terrible title, Some Sexy Songs for You. Y'all couldn't do anything better than that.
The only thing that I know for sure that Drake hasn't gotten from other people or hasn't gotten influence from is the titles of his albums. Those are 100,000% him. Take Care. Nothing Was the Same. You Know What? Never Mind.
Honestly, never mind.
Certified Lover Boy. Dark Lane
Views
Demos.
from the Six.
Views
That's
from
what
the
it's supposed to
Six.
be, Views.
What was the other? What was this? More Life.
For All My Dogs.
For All My Dogs. Some sexy songs for you. Every single album title is Drake. Like that can never be claimed that he was ghostwriting on that one, for sure.
That sounds like a title for a Korn film. Yeah, it does. It does.
Some sexy songs
and
for you.
and not a new one, like one from like the 70s. Anyway, so I had a theory earlier this week where I thought that Universal was just going to put a whole kibosh to this whole thing once it came time for the album to come out. Now I think they're going to go in a different direction, and I think that direction includes Kendrick. We've been talking about a Kendrick second album for quite some time. First of all, we've got news that supposedly Taylor Swift was going to be on an album, and she was at the Grammys giving this nigga all sorts of praise and love.
Now we need a
Grammys.
song for the Swifties. Top say drop, you gotta drop and give them 50.
So it just leads me to believe that she's probably still going to be on some kind of project, especially when that became a meme. That became a huge talking point on Twitter, at least, that she was giving him so much praise.
She even threw up the A minor. Like she's
Well, everybody said A minor. That shit was crazy. Then you've got, him doing promo work with Timothy Chalamet.
Timothée Chalamet.
In which Timothy Chalamet in this video says, I didn't get anything extra ahead of time or anything like that. Or I forget what he specifically said.
Doesn't his name sound like a car dealership to you? Come on down to Timothée Chalamet. We'll get you down into a car. Good credit,
You
bad
know why
credit.
it sounds like that? Because his last name sounds like Chevrolet.
Come on. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. We'll get you in the car today. Come on down, Timothée Chalamet.
Yikes. He said that he didn't get any early access is what he said. And so that leads me to believe there is something to have early access to.
Yeah,
Either
okay.
Kendrick's album is going to drop today, Monday, or Friday. And it's going to do that so that they can take the air away from this whole Drake nonsense album, and people aren't going to care as much. Now, people are probably still going to listen, but it's not going to do the numbers that they want to do. But I'll be fair, I don't even know if this album is going to do the numbers anyway. I don't know what they're expecting. I hope they're not.
What are we expecting this album to do without the push of Universal anyway?
And you asked this last week, and I didn't really have an answer. But Party's last album did 40,000 first week. And so Drake with no label, I'd be surprised if they do. I'd be surprised if they do 175. They'll do somewhere between like 150
total?
to 175. No, first week.
First week, okay.
First week.
You're expecting them to do 175.
I think they'll be lucky to do 250.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't heard a single Weeknd song off of this album. How is it selling so much?
Bundles. And people are just going to listen to The Weeknd regardless.
Sure, but I also don't feel like I've heard anything like popping. When Tyler was selling like this, I heard his shit everywhere. When Dot was running GNX up, I heard it everywhere. I haven't heard this Weeknd shit anywhere.
That's fair. The song, the hit single or the single came out back in September with Playboi Carti. So like that added to the sales, but then like you wouldn't hear it now because it's months ago. So I mean, he might come out with a song that's like Blinding Lights that takes off, but only time will tell. But bundles, and I don't understand people's discourse around bundles like it's scamming people into buying the album. People want to buy the merch that goes with the album, and they know that it's going towards album sales.
If you're buying merch, you're definitely trying to propel the sales of
You're trying
the
to
artist.
support the artist.
Yeah.
So bundles is not like this scammy way to get sales.
It's sales. It is sales.
It's the same
It's
shit.
a loss leader. It's like giving you a free fry with all your combos at the at the local fast food joint. It's
yeah,
a loss leader.
I'd have to still want the fast food place to even indulge.
Like they probably don't even make anything on the. Well, no, not. I'll change that. They're probably not supposed to make anything on the merch. The merch is supposed to be a loss leader to get you to buy the album, but you're not. They not doing that because they probably making that's payola like a motherfucker. They probably taking a 10-cent shirt and charging $60 for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on what the bundle is. I've seen some bundles that were like multiple things, but we'll see.
There is rumored to be another surprise on top of the SZA edition, on top of, what is sure to be a long cascade of A minors. There is an additional surprise reportedly coming out with Kendrick Lamar. So maybe it is an album announcement like you were talking about. They squash all of this movement of. Because you know what? We were looking at it for a minute in the aftermath of Not Like Us, right? All right, who gonna drop first? Who gonna drop first? I think they were kind of waiting each other out, especially on Kendrick's side. He was waiting Drake out to try to stomp out his next arrival. Mm-hmm. Drake ultimately lasted longer, pause, because Kendrick dropped GNX. But we had theorized that GNX wasn't the end of his album production for that year or within that year.
Yeah.
That there was probably, at least the way it was set up, it seemed like he had something else in the tuck still. Mm-hmm. So then now, if Drake has finally tipped his hand and let him know when he plans to release, all right, we're going to come out on February, that gives me ample enough time to step all over that because I got the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, it could be. Could be an album announcement. Could be another guest. I think that's more likely than an album announcement, but who would the guest be?
And this is why I think an album is coming too, because the first song that he's supposedly doing is that snippet that we heard from the album that we never got.
The snippet from the album we never got.
The snippet that we heard right before GNX came out.
Oh, but that's the one thing that's still leading to me that there's more album left or there's more project left. That part, yeah, for sure.
But they're saying that that's going to be that's like the first song he does in the Super Bowl set list.
We'll see. What if he pop out and do all new songs for the Super Bowl and then end with Not Like Us?
I've also
and then that's
seen
the
that
album promotion.
Supposed to. And I also heard that Samuel L. Jackson is narrating the whole thing. Samuel L. Jackson is narrating the whole thing as Uncle Sam.
Hey, yo, just like, you got to go get your jollies and feels from Australia. And then here he is in America, in New Orleans, of all cities.
During the Super Bowl.
And he got every celebrity known to man behind him.